Okay, today we're going to look at the actual circulation of blood in the heart itself. So we start out with the freshest blood coming from the left ventricle that's full of oxygen, and it's going to go up into the aorta, and the first places that we're going to feed are going to be the heart itself. On the right side here, you see we have the right coronary artery. Notice it comes down between the right atrium and the right ventricle, and it's going to wrap around, and it's going to kind of go down here on the side and break off this little branch here, which we're going to call the marginal artery. The marginal artery, the way I remember it, is just like the margin on a piece of paper. The margin is on the edge, so that's going to be our marginal artery that's going to feed our predominantly the right ventricle. Then it circles back around onto the posterior surface of the heart, and it's going to come down through this interventricular sulcus. Remember, inter means between. So the interventricular sulcus is going to be the dip between the ventricles. So there it comes down here as the posterior interventricular artery, that red one right there. Then on the left side, we're going to have, and you can't see it very well, but there's going to be a left coronary artery that's going to come, let me get this turned right, a left coronary artery that's going to come right under the pulmonary trunk, and it's going to come out right here, and you're going to see this tiny little, that just right there before it actually splits, that little piece right there. That's going to be the left coronary artery. And then it's going to immediately split into this one that goes right down here. That's going to be called the left anterior descending artery, sometimes known as the anterior interventricular artery, or sometimes known as the widowmaker, because if this one gets clogged up, it's going to take care of wiping out most of the blood flow to the left ventricle, and then you're going to have some serious problems. The other part that it divides into is what we call the circumflex artery, because it circles around to the back side of the heart, and it actually meets up with this area right here with the posterior interventricular artery. Now, once we've distributed all that fresh blood to the heart, we're going to dump off this oxygen, we're going to pick up the CO2, and now we've got to collect all of that kind of used blood and bring it back and dump it into the right atrium. So we're going to start here on the front side of the heart. We've got this large blue vessel that runs in between the ventricles, right alongside of the interventricular artery. That's going to be called the great coronary vein. So that's going to collect all of the blood basically from the anterior surface of the heart. Then you've got on the posterior surface of the heart, you've got this running right along the posterior interventricular artery. You've got this large vein, and that's going to collect all the blood from the back side of the heart. That's going to be the middle cardiac vein. And then on the right side of the heart, running right alongside the marginal artery, you've got the small cardiac vein. And so basically we're just going to pick up all that used blood, and all of these vessels are going to drain into the back side of the heart here into this great coronary sinus here, which is then going to dump back into the right atrium, and then we can send that blood around the heart and recharge it by taking it to the lungs and refreshing it. And that, my friends, is the circulation of blood through the heart.